most of the farmers were cotton farmers in the environs of Ward. Cotton farming has very simple work, but it's very arduous work. You chopping weeds and hoeing that and so forth and so on. But the real nice thing is about the work is very seasonal. Because you start the cotton in the early spring, and not until midsummer that you have any work to do. You have to treat the boll weevils and that sort of thing. But the farmers had a lot of time off, so they could go downtown and loaf and drink their Coca-Cola and gossip, and that was it. But most of the farming was done by large landholders who had sharecroppers, and the sharecroppers were usually colored families. They would give them about 25 acres to take care of. That's about as much as they needed to feed their mule and grow whatever little crops they wanted and so forth and so on. But you could not have a larger farm because the colored family couldn't pick that much cotton. You had to limit the amount of land you gave them to what they could harvest. And so for that reason, sharecropping was a pretty brutal life. You get a colored family. I hated sharecroppers. Sharecropping. You get a colored family and limit them to what they could grow on 25 acres, and half of the income from that. There's just no life for them at all. It's just a starvation deal, you know. And most of them had arrangements with the sharecroppers, and the landowner was in almost complete command of the situation. The sharecropper didn't have a vote on anything, even though he was half shares. He didn't have a vote, and they would advance the family as much as they could afford to advance them, and usually by the time the crop is harvested, they owed all the money that the cotton was going to bring, you know. And it was a rough life, and sharecropping is a dead-end street. But we had a sharecropper that lived right behind Roland's house, and they had a little boy named Chester, who was my age. Chester and I had great fun together. We would just, for one thing, we decided we wanted to go in shares too. We had a little patch that we would grow sugar cane, and we would grow sweet potatoes and all sorts of things that we could, simple things that we could take care of, and Chester and I would do it on shares. Shares was the way in those days. And I had a billy goat. Somebody gave me a billy goat, and Chester and I decided we were going to train that billy goat to plow our land for us. And that billy goat wasn't very much in favor of that. We had a lot of fights with the goat, and so old Billy and I would go up and down the rows, plowing our sugar cane and our sweet potatoes and so forth, and Billy would just take off. Couldn't handle him. But Then Chester and I would, by the time late summer came, we could break the sugar cane and chew on it. Boy, it was good. Then we'd sit there and talk about what kind of crops we were going to do next year. I was the boss. but but we had a lot of fun just doing it.